That's my Bahamaland, yeah. Friends in every place, a smile on every face. Children at play, time with family today. Someone fill my plate, homemade bread, I can't wait. I can't get enough, I will always stay in touch with my Bahamaland, yeah.
Rare Voice introduces Bahamaland, an unlimited nationwide calling plan for only $5 a month. So call home today and connect again with Bahamaland. Home never felt so close.
My Bahamaland, yeah.
A man found dead inside his home early this morning. An increase in credit card fraud, what you should know to protect yourself. The Democratic National Alliance calls for apologies over the Bahamas telecommunications company deal. We'll tell you why. And a blind man shares his story after living on the streets for years. We have those stories and more coming up tonight. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and your MB12 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. Police are investigating the 8th murder of the year. A man was found inside his home on the corner of Fleming and Market Streets with multiple stab wounds this morning. Dana Smith reports.
Police say the victim was lying dead on the floor of his home for days. His body was discovered this morning after worried relatives forced their way inside his home.
That's the right.
Distraught relatives and concerned neighbors lined Market Street to watch as police investigated yet another murder in New Providence. The victim was identified by neighbors as 53-year-old Ricardo Johnson, also known as Ricky, a local mechanic. According to Superintendent Paul Roll, police received reports shortly after 8 o'clock this morning that a man had been stabbed.
Officers responded to this scene where they met a 53-year-old male lying on the floor of his residence, suffering from multiple stab wounds about the body.
Roll said the victim was found in his residence by family members who had not seen him for 3 days.
Relatives became concerned after not seeing him for a couple of days and forced their way into the home where they made the discovery.
Roll added the body was not badly decomposed, possibly because of the recent cool temperatures.
As I said, the family hadn't seen him for about 3 days, and his body is still intact, so it doesn't appear, and there's good weather, so that's about reasonable.
Neighbors said Ricky Johnson lived by himself. He was unmarried with no children, but he has a sister and a few brothers, according to 78-year-old Burcell Bradshaw, who said he knew Johnson for more than 40 years. Bradshaw did not want to appear on camera, but said he was stunned to learn of Johnson's death.
Well, he was a friendly guy, nice. He was an auto mechanic, worked on my cars, truck, over the years. But I was shocked when I heard the name that Ricky was in the back, that they found him back there murdered.
Bradshaw added although crime does happen in the surrounding area, an incident such as this is uncommon in his community.
No, not like this. Not like this. Down through DeVoe Street, something always going on down through there. But out this way, a little pilfering, but nothing like this.
Another neighbor, 45-year-old Barry Williams, said he had just seen Johnson last Saturday. He said he knew Johnson for years and had no idea who could have killed him. Williams lamented the country's crime problem and said anyone could be a victim.
He was a nice person. He's a mechanic. He was a mechanic. And let me tell you something, ma'am, that could have been me too. And I want to tell you that whatever we could do, please, let's try stop the crime. Just do good, and good will follow you, because the grace with mercy would bring us through.
Police are appealing to members of the public who may have any information on this latest incident to contact them. Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Well, police issuing a warning this afternoon over increases in credit card fraud. Central Detective Unit officers explaining that thieves can steal information from a valid credit card and then use that information to make thousands of copies of that card. Police say as much as $100,000 has been lost in unauthorized charges in the past 3 months. Officers have 2 men in custody in connection with credit card scams, but believe there are more out there.
On the table here are samples of items that were seized during our investigation. What we have here is a skimmer. This is a skimming device that Mr. Edgecombe spoke about, that an individual will take this skimming device into their place of employment. This is they can easily conceal this on their person, and when you present your credit card for payment, they will take your card, swipe it through this device, and it stores your credit card information on this device. After they would have stored the information on this device, these are samples of cards, blind cards, that they would then upload that information using the card writer. They would upload the information onto a device, an item like this, and then they will create what we call now these fraudulent credit cards. For every card that is skimmed, they can create thousands of credit cards and thousands of fraudulent identification to go along with those credit cards.
Thieves can purchase the equipment for their practices online, according to police, who offered tips on how consumers can avoid becoming victims of this scam. Those tips include paying close attention when making a purchase.
Every time you use your credit card, keep an eye on your credit card every time you use it, and make sure you insist to get it back as quickly as possible. When making purchases, insist on swiping your credit card through the merchant credit card machine yourself, if possible. Then handing it off to somebody, and they go in the back, take 10 minutes, come back, and they give you back your credit card. That's an opportunity.
Police also have tips for merchants who may have been inadvertently accepting fraudulent credit cards. Police advise business establishments to know the features of a valid credit card and to pay attention to customers who are jumpy or appear anxious. Police say if a person is making large purchases on a card, that should serve as a warning. Police say in past instances of theft, culprits purchased several pairs of tennis shoes, jewelry, electronics, liquor, tires, and gasoline.
In recent time, it has been, we've dealt with this before, but not at this scale. I think they've been emboldened now, and they're making these larger purchases. That's why we thought before this gets out of hand that we want to kind of create this awareness.
Now that the deal between the government and Cable and Wireless Communications has been closed, Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union executives say they have closed that chapter. President Bernard Evans says he's not pleased with the outcome, but indicated the union is ready to move on. He says the union is now turning its attention to contract negotiations with the Bahamas Telecommunications Company.
This is a contract year for us at BCPOU with BTC. We look forward to negotiations. We do have one outstanding issue, which is a legacy item that left over from the former administration, which has something to do with our pension fund.
Evans says that issue is a major one. He explained that the fund was a non-contributory scheme that paid an average of 20% of employees' annual salary. He says the former administration agreed that after the sale of CWC, BTC would only pay 10% and the government would be responsible for the other half. Evans says the BCPOU does not intend to sign the contract until all the funds are there.
We have since learned that the fund is like some $30 million underfunded. And it is our quest now to go after that $30 million as we bring this chapter to an end. And we look forward to working with Mr. Bentley, Mr. Houston, and all of the new faces that will come into the fray.
And the leader of the Democratic National Alliance calling for 2 apologies to the Bahamian people in the wake of the recent agreement between the government and Cable and Wireless Communications over BTC. Granville McCartney says the Bahamian people are owed an apology from former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram for selling the majority interest in the telecommunications company, and from Prime Minister Christie for selling what he called the far-fetched dream of regaining ownership. In a press statement, McCartney said many Bahamians voted for the PLP on the premise that BTC ownership would be regained, but he says the government's string of failures in less than 2 years, including the mortgage relief plan and the gaming referendum, is is the only record-breaking thing this administration has done, unmatched by any government in our past. McCartney is also demanding that BTC disclose how much it gave to charities last year and how that compares to the 2% share profits expected to be donated through the BTC Foundation. Well, the short list of presidential candidates for the College of the Bahamas has been announced, and they include former COB president Dr. Rodney Smith, who was embroiled in a plagiarism scandal back in 2005. Smith served as COB president from 2004 to 2005 when he resigned that post and the College Council bought out his contract. A firestorm of controversy surrounding Dr. Smith after he gave a speech at the college's honors convocation in 2005 in which he used information from a speech that was sent to him in 2002. Smith is one of 4 shortlisted candidates for the post of college president. Assistant professor at the University of Maryland, Dr. Gregory Carey, is also on that list, along with full professor of sociology at North Carolina A&T State University, Dr. Philip Carey, and professor at the School of Business at COB, Dr. Olivia Saunders. Those 4 candidates are expected to be introduced to the COB college community shortly. They frequent derelict vehicles, abandoned buildings, anywhere they can find shelter. Like many other places, the homeless population here in the Bahamas is often ignored. Today, some concerned Bahamians called MB12 about a homeless blind man who they want to see off the streets. Tonight, Nakia DeVoe shares his story.
I, David John Davidson, I've been to Sunlands before, and I born in 1965.
David has become a familiar sight along Poinciana Drive. All day he sits here outside of a local chicken shack. At night he seeks shelter on the porch of Jingle's Beauty Shop. The people in the area say they've done all they can for him, and now they're asking for anyone to intervene.
Then I went to social service and I went and I told them that he came out of the hospital with pneumonia and he's partially blind. And the police and the social worker been here to him yesterday, and they said they have to put him in the system in order to find some place for him. We check the aid camp, they say he ain't qualified because he don't have aid. We check batch, they say he is too disabled to be there. So they give me some clothes and food to feed him. But he really need help.
Davis said he lost most of his vision years ago when someone threw a liquid substance in his face. He told us he spent a lot of time in Sandilands Rehabilitation Center where he was treated for mental issues. Davis says he was in hospital for 3 months with pneumonia, and after his release, he was dropped to an abandoned building on Dumping Ground Corner. 2 weeks ago, he crawled his way to his current spot. Today, King and others in the area told us they have been trying to find help for Davis ever since.
They carry me over by bots, right?
Right, and what did they tell you at Bosch?
Well, they say, bots, they don't take patients, no blind people, you see.
Davis says he's originally from Eleuthera, but has a few family members in New Providence. However, he claims he hasn't seen any of them since he left the hospital weeks ago. He told us he's also been to the Department of Social Services for help, but didn't receive the assistance he needed.
They give me clothes and things, they ain't give me no food, no assistance like that.
Davis has a blanket to keep him warm during the chilly days. His restroom is an empty water bottle. King says Davis is too weak to walk around without assistance or stand up for long periods of time. She says she has an empty room in the back of her building where David can stay, but it needs a door, something she can't afford. Now she's calling on the Urban Renewal Commission, church leaders, corporate Bahamas, or anyone to assist. She showed us where he goes to seek shelter when it rains and at night.
He sleep right underneath there. Come, let me show you. He's sleeping out in the night. When she comes, she gotta flush this down. You don't know. People turn off because they can say all kind of stuff on the clothes. I don't just know that. I make sure he eat, clean him up and everything. But how long can he take this with pneumonia and stuff? I asked if any privacies or anyone who could assist with him to assist.
David's story is just one of many. While there are no statistics on the homeless population in the Bahamas, charity workers say they see an increase in the number of people seeking assistance each year and a decrease in the number of people willing to help.
So the criminal living better than this man on the street, and we Bahamian, we walk here every day and see this man on the side of the road. We got too much church in this land for this to be carrying on.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Nakia DeVoe.